Here I've got the bits and pieces of two Motorcraft 2100 carburetors, both your cheap Chinese Amazon and eBay, I believe, on that one specials. Probably made in the same sweatshop. Regardless, uh, these two fine units. We was having some issues with this one on the CJ5 a couple years ago, and we ended up robbing the Venturis and boosters uh, out of it to fix the TJ a while back. There's a video on that. And we just went ahead and put a new unit on the CJ5. Well, back in the fall, on the way home from work one day, I decided to shove the nose of the J10 up the ass end of a 2021 Mercedes. And that's where this carburetor came into play. As you can see, that throttle shaft is bent, and it's stuck pretty good. Won't return back to the idle position. So after that whole catastrophic event, man had to rob the brand new carburetor off his CJ5 that got drove one day over to four wheel across the way from the house about 10 miles. And then I think we took it to a cruise in at the bar one time last spring. And that's all this Jeep been drove. And we had to put the 2100 that was on the CJ5 on the J10 to get it back up and operational. So we're going to take the boosters, Venturi, out of this one, put it back in this one, in this thing, so it could be mobile. This is the only vehicle I got that's immobile right now because it just conveniently has a little hole to live in up here in the corner of the garage. So anyway, I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing my wonderful tree ass fucked voice, and I'll show you some working on this stuff real quick. Okay, there's our booster assembly there. Now I got a half-assed molested rebuild kit with a new needle and seat in it. So we're probably going to stick that in this other carburetor also. Um, it goes down, clicks in there. Okay. All right. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I know for a fact that I replaced this needle and seat. We're going to take it out of here and we're going to see if it still looks clean and everything. Let me grab a can of starting fluid and we'll do a little cleaning on that real fast. Now the needle, the way this floating shit goes in these, the needle just hangs right there. You got this snap that goes down around the seat piece, and this is your float. You actually adjust your float level by bending this assembly. Now, I believe I had this set right when it was in there, because I was chasing a mixed issue in that CJ5. Some of it was a carburation issue, but the other big part of it, unbeknownst to me at the time until it just finally went, was the the fact that the good old and you want this whenever the needle's down in the down position, you want that float to be at like a 90, 85-degree angle in here. But unbeknownst to me at the time, till it plumb just finally went, the MSD little controller chip in the distributor was the problem. And yeah. So this assembly just sits down in here, just like we pulled it out of the other one. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some more repair to this carburetor here. Did a little bit to it the other evening and filmed that. I was actually going to put this on the J20 and then decided, since I was taking parts out of this parts carburetor, to just take the accelerator pump out of it and put in that, since that one was cracked and leaking. So now I believe we have a leaking power valve in this carburetor, which I believe I replaced it one time before. But so we're gonna go ahead and take one out of the parts carburetor here and stick in that one. So then we'll stick that one on the CJ5 and see if that fixed the carburetor or not. Whoopsie daisy. Here we go. Alright. Now, here's our parts piece and our felt. We already got this disassembled here. Let's see how tight this is. Oh yeah, that's 7 kinds of too tight there. Let me get a wrench. I figured, hell, she ain't no good anyhow. We're just gonna do her like this. Oh, I'm going to put y'all down. Put y'all over here. Oh, well, that's tight. Yeah, look at the difference in them. Alright, here goes this one. Just snug. Okay, here's the piece that goes on that. Here it is. Yabba dabba doobie. And it'd be these. I like flat screws. See if these little bitty bastards will fit in there. So I'm learning something about varieties of these Chinese knockoff carburetors. Each different one has got a little bit different pitch on the threads. They'll go together, but they don't like it. Probably should just put the screws back in this. They came out of it. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and set this to a turn and a half out on the auto mixture screws. F, 2, 3. F, 2, 3. Alright. Oh! I did figure out what this is, by the way. It's to keep the engine from dieseling when you shut it off when it's hot. So what it basically does is you use this screw to adjust your throttle. When the key's on, this solenoid is supposed to poke out and open the throttle, and then when you turn the key off, it comes down and it lets it go back to plumb nothing fuel. Whereas if you use the mechanical throttle position, it's always going to be open, and if you have a little bit too high of an idle, you'll be up in the transfer slots on the carburetor and it'll diesel on you. So that's kind of neat. Other than that, on this thing, it should be runnable now at this point. We'll probably stick it on the CJ5 and give it a rundown, see if it will at least start and run. So, anyway, on to the next thing.